And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I accidentally did not press spectate, but we are now spectating. We will be able to watch this as a spectator. Everything will be A-OK. We did have some technical difficulties. Lewis Hamilton is back on the leaderboard, which is good to see. But we will now be able to actually start this race and actually watch these amazing competitors go around track. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Noah Clark at WSRX. If my voice sounds a little strained, I just got off a little bit of a sickness. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I was very sick this morning. I am much better now. My throat doesn't hurt as much, but my voice is strained. So I will be in a lower octave for most of the race this evening. I will try my best to make it as exciting as possible, but my voice will only go so far, so we'll have to try our best. But nevertheless, let's get ready. We're here at the Canadian Grand Prix, the Circuit de Villeneuve. One of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Of course, this is the track we did have to reschedule due to some server instability issues. We couldn't get any racing done that night, not even just on the league, but also in general. Online was being very tricky with us. But we're back here. We're ready to start anew, and we're ready to finish off our final season with WSR. Clear skies. I'm in spectator mode, and we're ready to actually begin. Lewis Hamilton will go on track, and we'll get ready. We have 13 competitors on the grid today, a little bit of a smaller grid. Of course, it is still Thanksgiving weekend per se, though we will be honest with you, it's not too much Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving, of course, was on Thursday, so we're a little bit further away from that. But nevertheless, let's get ready for the start. And I'm very excited to be bringing this race to you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an amazing season to call in WSR, and Damian Carroll is going to be the first human driver to go out onto the grid. Looks to be Gurman also coming out, and so is Chill Mo in McLaren. And let's ride on board of Damian Carroll, as he'll be the first man to take us around the Circuit de Villeneuve. And this is, again, one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Super high speed, very racy, just an all-around great track. And definitely going to give some very exciting racing today around here. The championship is over in the top step. Third place still very much up for grabs. Only about 5 points separating Flip-Flop Fish and Gurman. We do have to report Anthony82 has left the championship. He left after the Abu Dhabi race and therefore had actually forfeited his second place prize in the championship. This was his decision. We have talked to Anthony82 after the fact, and there's a crash already, it seems. Hartman has had an accident somewhere. And we're going to try to see on Nathan DeVillers who that was. Where it was, sorry. And there it is, right there. Hartman crashing just outside of the pit exit, so something must have happened. And that is not good indeed, as here comes Damian Carroll on his first lap. While Hartman already out of qualifying, having a serious issue with his car. But anyway, we have talked to Anthony82, and he agreed to forfeit. He said it wasn't about the money, he just wanted to raise fun. And we wish him the best in his future endeavors. However, that does mean that Fly By Night is now in second place in the championship. Third place currently belongs to Gurman. Flip-Flop Fish, though, close behind. So again, Flip-Flop Fish has to outscore Gurman by about 5 points in order to gain the lead in the championship. And nope, there was a little bit of a slowdown from Damian. I don't know if something happened. There was a little bit of a gaffe on the straight. I don't know if something might have happened. He might have slipped on there a bit. And nope, there wasn't even a time set. So we'll have to see what that was all about. And let's ride on board of Nathan DeVillers as Gurman goes fastest on track in the Racing Point. Nathan DeVillers in the Ferrari, returning back to WSR as he's going all over the track, not at all in control at the moment of the Ferrari, as he's going to look to possibly bring the Ferrari onto the top step. We haven't seen Nathan DeVillers in quite a long time. He returned last race to get it on the podium, and he'll be looking for more points on today. Again, if you're joining us, my name is Noah Carker, WSRX. You're watching Worldwide Sim Racing's coverage of the Canadian Grand Prix, the final race of the WSR Formula World Championship of 2019. And look at this, Nathan DeVillers getting slipstream on Lewis Hamilton as he finally does overtake him. But that is going to increase his top speed just a little bit as he brings it up to 8th gear before braking hard into the final chicane. And that was a pretty big cut, and I would have to be surprised if he gets away with that, as he's going to cross the line, and he is absolutely not going to. Sweet Crown 19 goes fastest on track, and let's ride on board of Chill Mo. He's going to cross the line. We'll see what he can do if he is going to get a time on board, and it is going to be best for 5th fastest, and Element 10 goes into the pits. Both Ferraris not yet setting a time. And UC Flying has still elected to stay in the pits. Here comes Fluffernutter, banging the wall of champions coming out of the final turn. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and Fluffernutter goes 5th fastest. 3rd place at the moment belongs to Obiku in qualifying. Here is Speed Kills 3 in the Alfa Romeo, not having the best of seasons compared to his championship-winning teammate, though he would love to get further up in the standings in qualifying today. Coming into the final chicane, he too hits the wall of champions but keeps it alive. Maybe a little bit of wing damage. It crosses the line, and it's going to be a corner cut for him there, as I think he just wants to get around track again. But no good on that lap. Many drivers cutting the corners, unfortunately. And here is WSR You See Me Flying in his Red Bull Racing car, going around here in this car possibly for the final time. Many of the drivers may elect to switch cars. The top 10 have the option to choose their cars, going from the 1st place man all the way down to 10th. So the top 10 drivers will get their choice of car, and then afterwards the other 10 drivers will then pick their own. If you like the content you're watching, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, make sure to like the stream so we can get a little bit more publicity. And we're so thankful for everybody joining us on our last race. And WSR You See Me Flying crosses the start-finish line to begin his lap, barreling down in the turn 1, keeping it very glued to the apexes as he comes down into the fast left-right chicane. Keeping it close to the apex, just keeping off of the wall now, coming through Sector 1. And what the time going to be, it's going to be a 20.3, not the fastest we've seen, as he's coming into Sector 2, now on to the 2nd DRS straight. And now the final DRS straight, kicking it in overtake actually, as it does increase acceleration speeds. And coming into the final chicane, let's see what You See Me Flying's time is going to be, keeping it off the wall of champions. Just looks to be a pretty good lap by him. Let's see what he can do. And no, it's only going to be 7 fastest actually. The fastest man on track at the moment actually is WSR Gernman. Flip-Flop Fish has yet to set a time. Here is Element 10. Nathan DeVillers as well, also on a lap. His Sector 2 time looking very feisty indeed. And a little slow out of the hairpin. DRS going to be activated. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. It is now gone. Might have been just a slow car. And let's see what the Ferrari can do now. And again, cutting the chicane quite a lot. The first part of the chicane. Does that invalidate him again? It does. Nathan DeVillers yet to set a time. The Ferrari of Element 10 goes 8th fastest. But Nathan DeVillers, both times going into the final chicane, I believe, has invalidated his lap. And he is still at the bottom of the pack in 12th. So cutting the chicane far too much is Nathan DeVillers, and that's causing him to not be able to set a lap time. Only 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go, just about. There's not a lot of time left in order to make sure that you get into the points. So he definitely wants to make sure that he doesn't do too much of that anymore and keeps it a little bit more in check. Flip-Flop Fish not going out in qualifying due to his qualifying ban. And that is why we will not see him setting a time today. There was, of course, a lot of action in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and due to that action, Flip-Flop Fish was disqualified from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and received a qualifying ban. And Nathan DeVillers does finally set a time. It's a 109.9. And that puts him in the 6th place. Sweet Crown 19 is the fastest man on track of a 108.8. Second man fastest is the Ferrari of Element 10. His highest right now in qualifying. 7 minutes to go in qualifying. All the drivers that are eligible to set a time have done so. Flip-Flop Fish, of course, will not be going out on track due to his qualifying ban. He will start last on this race. Apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Just clearing my throat a little bit. Make sure to join us in just a month. January 5th, 2019. Sorry, January 5th, 2020. I do apologize. Will be the start of WSR Season 2. We have so much exciting content to bring you, ladies and gentlemen. WSR will never look the same as it has before, and I'm very excited to be bringing you all the action. A shorter calendar of the best races and the best tracks in WSR, and I'm very excited for what Season 2 will bring. As here comes WSR Gurman, who was on an outlap, and he will now start his flying lap. Braking hard in the turn 1, going a little bit too deep though, and ends up running wide out of turn 2. Now heading down to the quick left-right chicane. Again, going a little bit too deep into the corner, you end up running up on the curb, and Gurman has aborted this lap almost immediately. And not happy at all with the state of affairs with that lap. And here is Chill Mo, who is not going fast at all, it looked like, through there. A little bit big on the brakes, and yep, about a second off. So not trying at all on that one. And just waiting for a few drivers to come out, and it looks like WSR Fluffinutta might be coming out. And maybe it was Albiku. Yes, it was Albiku in the Renault who was in fact coming out for a lap. Elbiku in 4th place in the Renault. And behind him is his teammate in the other Renault, WSR Fluffernutter. Hopefully he can bring his car a little bit further up. Of course, Fluffernutter in a tight battle for the championship standings with WSR You See Me Flying. Scar Logan LPC was apparently in the session. He has since left the session. He was not able to attend the race, it seems. Again, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I am still a little sick, so if you get any coughing fits from me, you know why. I'm trying to suppress it a little bit. And 4 minutes to go in qualifying. Fluffernutter on an out lap. Now going through the final chicane. Let's see what he can do. DRS activated, 90% on his ERS, putting it in hot lap. Barreling down in the turn 1, hitting the apex smoothly, not going too deep. Able to keep it tight in turn 2. Coming out nicely out of the exit. Slow and fast out is the name of the game for Fluffernutter as he goes into the left-right chicane. Keeps it very, very tighty. Let's look at this Sector 1 time. It's going to be impressive, and it is. It's a 19.5 through Sector 1. A little bit squirmy, a little bit too understeery, and already aborting the lap. Fluffernutter not happy with those turn of events. I would say I wouldn't have aborted that lap. It was still very much on the money, but Fluffernutter didn't agree. And here is Nathan DeVillers. Has saved up a lot of his ERS. He's on that medium compound tire, warming up his tires, and the Ferrari is looking to get himself further up on the grid. Nathan DeVillers coming around the final turn. DRS activated, coming across the start-finish line, barreling down at almost 200 miles per hour before braking hard into turn 1. And a little bit of a slide out of turn 1, but keeps it tight through turn 2, coming nice out of the exit. Now for the left-right downhill chicane, seemingly trying to keep it as tight as possible. Running up on the grass a little bit, but no problem there. Coming now almost 180 miles an hour, hitting 180, braking hard, keeping it close to the curbs again. Now, next DRS straight, opening that DRS flap, increasing the speed almost over 190, all the 200 before again braking hard, keeping it on the curb, almost hitting the wall a little bit, and now heading to the very hard braking hairpin, making sure to keep it tidy, keep it close, and he does do that in fact. And now behind Lewis Hamilton again, and he's going to have DRS. He's going to have to get out of the way, though. Only a little bit of slipstream for him, and is going to be well over 200 miles per hour before braking hard for the final chicane. Now, let's see what he can do. Braking hard, keeping it very tidy through the chicane. This looks to be a pretty good lap from Nathan DeVillers. Let's see what it's going to be, and it's going to be pole position for the Ferrari. Nathan DeVillers, pole position, provisional pole position at the moment. Sweet Crown 19 and Element 10 have not elected to come out for a pit for another lap. And Nathan DeVillers is on provisional pole. And that is a very exciting lap from Nathan DeVillers. Elbiku in 5th place in the Renault. Damian Carroll also in the pits. WSR Fluffernutter has come out for another lap, though I think his lap might have been compromised as well, or he was on the same lap. Speed Kills 3 is warming up his tires. He has to get a little bit of a move on, though, or else he might get caught out. He is on an out lap right now. Speed Kills 3 looking to get further up. And look at that. Sweet Crown 19 is on an out lap right now, so he is looking to get it around track, though this is going to be very close. Only about 30 seconds to go. And he has to really pick up the pace if he's going to make it across for a final lap. And right now he's going to be behind WSR You See Me Flying. And I don't think Sweet Crown 19 has enough to make it here. Coming down the straight, Elbiku gets out of the way. 15 seconds to go to cross the line. And this is going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. Coming into the final chicane, Sweet Crown 19 might have timed this very perfectly. 5 seconds to go. Coming across, and no, he does not make it. And Sweet Crown 19 will not cross the line in time, and he will not be able to set another lap. Here is WSR Gurman, however. He is looking to set another lap of his own, get himself further up on the grid. He's sitting 4th right now in the standings. Braking hard, and he's down by about 1/10 of a second through the hairpin, and bringing it way too much wheel spin out of that final hairpin, though. Now coming very fast down the straight. DRS activated. And almost up near to, now it is 211 miles per hour, braking hard into the chicane, keeping it out of the wall. Let's see what this time is going to be. Is it going to be enough? And there's a bit of a spin, and he lost the car. And I don't know if that was on purpose. It looked like the wheel jerked on his own. But German does not improve. Nathan DeVillers, provisional pole position. And the last man to come across the line will be You See Me Flying, but no. You See Me Flying retired from the session. He aborted his lap. Nathan DeVillers, once again, on pole position. And getting a report from Sweet Crowd 19, slowing down. He did not want to start his race on the softs. And Nathan DeVillers, pole position. Sweet Crown 19 in the Alfa Romeo in second. Third place, the Ferrari. It's an all-Italian front row and an Italian car behind that. The British Racing Point of German in fourth. Flip-Flop Fish has a lot to do in this race if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive, or else German will be securing third place in the championship. But it's all to play for in this 50% race around the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve as we get ready for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. If you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Noah Clark, or WSRX. I'm your main commentator for WSR, or Worldwide Sim Racing. This is the WSR Formula World Championship in its final round of 2019 at the Canadian Grand Prix. I have had the pleasure of calling all 21 races and all of the feeder series races for WSR. It's been a pleasure. It's been so many memories. And as we get ready for the formation lap where I call the grid for the final time this season, I really commend everybody for sticking around and watching these amazing moments happen. It's truly been one of the most amazing experiences of my entire life, and it's something I'm never going to forget in our inaugural season in WSR, as that one red light comes on and the formation lap begins. And let's go over the starting lineup for your Canadian Grand Prix. Nathan DeVillers in the Ferrari in pole position. Sweet Crown 19 in second in the Alfa Romeo. Element 10 in third for the Ferrari. WSR German in fourth position in the Racing Point, followed by the Renault of Albicu 1. Damien Carroll in sixth position in the Williams. You See Me Flying in the Red Bull in seventh. Speed Kills 3 in the other Alfa Romeo in eighth position, followed by WSR Fluffinutta in the black and yellow car of the Renault. Chill Mo in the only McLaren on the grid today in 10th position, rounding off the points at the moment. Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes in 11th. Flip-Flop Fish with a qualifying ban will start in 12th only because of a crash from the only Haas on the grid, WSR Hartman, who will start in 13th. Coming down the DRS straight, it's been an amazing first season of WSR. Good to see some old faces returning for the final races of the season. We have our main band. Not everybody is on the grid today, but it's okay, as the AI will now take control of the car again, and they'll be put into their respective slots that they qualified in. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. And for the final time this season, the 5 lights will go on, and then they'll go off, and it will get ready for the start of the WSR Canadian Grand Prix. Hartman in the Haas coming around for his final grid slot. There's Flip-Flop Fish slotting in. And all the cars are lined up, and we are ready for the start. And it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and for the final time, it is go! Nathan DeVillers gets jumped by Sweet Crown 19 almost immediately, and they're side by side, 3 wide in the turn 1, and big carnage, and the racing point of Gurman has to get bludged down all the way down the rest of the grid. And Gurman dropping down hard, lots of carnage in the turn 1, and Nathan DeVillers, though, getting jumped by Sweet Crown 19 at the start of this race, and Element 10 all over the back of his teammate. And here comes Element 10, chasing down Nathan DeVillers, coming around on the inside, and will he get the job done? Yes, he will, as he looks to push Nathan DeVillers off track, and I think he did just that, as now Obiku has had an amazing start, and he puts himself in the 4th position. You see me flying in 6th position, and Fluffernutter all the way down the grid. What has happened to Fluffernutter? Is there front wing damage on the car? And yes, there looks to be front wing damage, and yes, there's considerable damage, and that is no good for Fluffernutter in his championship fight. Flip-flop fish, look at this, he's already behind Gurman, who had a terrible start. Now down that start-finish straight, he's going to look to try to make an overtake on Gurman. Is there going to be a dive bomb made in the turn 1? No. 35 laps around this track, as here is the race, and Nathan DeVillers is in 3rd place, starting from pole position, has had a pretty bad start, getting jumped by Sweet Crown 19, and his teammate Element 10 jumps in the 2nd position. Element 10 looking now to chase down Sweet Crown 19. And into the pits are a few drivers, but look at this, Flip-Flop Fish and Gurman are going side by side. And Flip-Flop Fish lots behind Gurman again. Both of them cutting the chicane a little bit. Here comes Flip-Flop Fish. Will he make a big move at the hairpin? No. A little bit too far back. Scarlogan LPC is joining the session again, but he's not going to be able to get into the race. And now coming down at this DRS straight for the final time with no DRS, as the next lap DRS will be activated, and they'll be able to use that flap on the back of their rear wing to gain some straight line speed advantage and hopefully gain an advantage at the car ahead of them. As DRS is activated, Sweet Crown 19 goes fastest. Going in the turn 1, Flip-Flop Fish on the back of the racing point of WSR Gurman. The battle for 3rd place is on an all-time high already. Gurman almost hits the wall. Flip-Flop Fish keeping it a little bit more tidy. Into the final chicane again of Sector 1 before coming into Sector 2. Here is their first DRS straight. And this is not really an overtaking zone, but it is good to keep it close. Now coming up to the hairpin. Gurman all over the place and not getting a good exit out of there. There might be a move made before the hairpin, and he's going to go on the inside. Gurman is going to give him plenty of space, and they're still going to be side by side. And here's Gurman, now still side by side of him. They banging wheels. Who gets DRS? It's Flip-Flop Fish who gets DRS, as he made it before the DRS detection zone. And he gets into the lead of 7th position. And for these two drivers, that is the lead of the race, as this is crucial for him, as he also gets DRS down that next straight, which is amazing. Gurman must be seething. He did not get DRS. Flip-Flop Fish ahead of Gurman. And now he has to jump another driver in order to get that 5-point advantage that would give him 3rd place in the championship. Elbiku in 4th place. And here is You See Me Flying in the Red Bull, looking to get himself in the 4th, sitting in 5th at the moment. Damian Carroll, time penalties. And now the Red Bull, going to be in DRS range of Elbiku. And you'll hear that little click sound And that DRS flap should be open, and yes, it is. And there's another driver, and look at this. So much weaving going down. And here comes Yosemite flying, going into the chicane. And that's an amazing attempt. But now here comes Damian Carroll, drag racing with the Red Bull. And he's giving him just about enough space. And oh, there's contact. And there's more contact. And he's spun out Biku. And Yosemite flying has had to cut the chicane. And he has come out ahead. Damian Carroll, though, hit the back of Albiku, and now Flip Flop Fish jumps into 5th position, and Gurman's sitting in 7th behind Damian Carroll, and Albiku has been spun, and now he goes into the wall, and he's hit the wall, and he just keeps the car alive, but more carnage as the yellow flags go out, and that's a lot of issues for Albiku, who was running well, and that might get looked at by the stewards after the race. Not good turn of events. It looked to be a lot of squabbling with those 3 drivers. We'll have to wait and see what the stewards decide in the later few days, because that'll definitely be looked into. But here comes Flip Flop Fish. Now he's in the slipstream of You See Me Flying. Gaining a lot of slipstream actually as he now brakes hard into the final chicane. No move made, keeping it smooth. Oh, but snap oversteer. DRS again for him. Braking hard for turn 1. Looking to chase down You See Me Flying in the Red Bull. Get himself in the 4th. And again increase that championship standing. And Flip Flop Fish, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. That's not going to help him at all. And You See Me Flying looking to struggle a little bit. He's got himself in the 4th position, but not able to get ahead too far from the Mercedes of Flip Flop Fish. Albiku into the pits. Of course, he had no front wing from the spin. Braking hard for the chicane. Here comes that DRS straight. And let's ride on the outside camera. There's that DRS flap open, and he look to make a move. He's definitely going to look to try to do it so. And now going side by side. Will it be made before the chicane? They're going side by side into the chicane, and that move is made. And he overtakes You See Me Flying. And there is Gurman behind them. What an exciting few opening laps, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute fantastic results. And here is Nathan DeVillers chasing down his teammate Element 10. Element 10 has dropped back, and now is our 3-second gap from the lead of the race. Sweet Crown 19 looking again to have a dominant win in WSR. Maybe he can do it. But now dropping back again as Nathan DeVillers losing control of his car a little bit. Not able to get DRS down this next straight. And that's not going to help him at all as he looks to try to overtake his teammate. And here comes You See Me Flying. DRS again now. But this time it's for the Red Bull man. But he's a little bit further back than Flip Flop Fish was the You See Me Flying. So an overtake might not be in order. As no, in fact, Flip Flop Fish actually gains time over You See Me Flying down that DRS straight, despite the DRS flap being open. It's open again, but again, able to gain time is Flip Flop Fish, which is just amazing. So sometimes when you're not in the slipstream, even when you do have the DRS, it doesn't actually gain you time, which is interesting. And unfortunately, we weren't able to see Fun Magic Mushroom in the race today. He had an important thing to take care of. We do thank Fun Magic Mushroom getting him to return in WSR. And now look at this, Chomo trying to overtake. And oh, he hits the back of... Oh, there's a big crash. And who was that? And Chomo was out of the race, I think. And if he's not, he has major damage. He hit the back. And that looked to be of a certain driver. Now here comes Hartman trying to overtake, and yes, he does. There was big contact there. I don't know if there was a bit of a glitch. It might have just been because the cars are coming in so fast. Speed Kills 3 looks to be okay. But Hamilton slowing down considerably, and Chilmo getting left out to dust. And is there damage for him? I think there might be on the end plate. And here comes Damian Carroll overtaking WSR Gurman. Flip-Flop Fish finds himself in 4th position, and well more than enough in ahead of Gurman to secure 3rd in the championship at the moment. And that was definitely not good. And Flip-Flop Fish, despite having a qualifying ban, has found himself in 4th position, very much in the possibility to win 3rd place in the championship today. Lap 10 of 35. We're about 1/3 of the way through this race already. And very interesting turn of events so far in this race. Some very good action. Let's ride on board now with WSR Hartman, who is trying to overtake Hamilton, who is not giving him a good time indeed. But now DRS activated, and it's going to be a drag race down the straight, but it should be an easy drag race for Hartman as he'll have DRS, and now there is an advantage being gained, and he slots ahead of him, and he gets ahead of him. Hartman finds himself in the points in 10th. Can he score a point for the American team? We'll have to wait and see, as Lewis Hamilton will try to chase him down, but maybe to no avail. And there is a front wing change for Chilmo, so there was damage on his front wing, and very unfortunate with the AI there for that incident to take place. And now coming out of the pits, looking to make up some time, and Nathan de Villers, a 3-second time penalty. Very uncharacteristic of Nathan de Villers to get a penalty like that. But what does that mean for Flip-Flop Fish? That means at the moment he would get himself into 3rd position, even further up in the standings. Possibly a podium for the Mercedes driver. We would just have to wait and see. As we are just getting over that 1/3 of the way through the race, as now we're into the 2nd third of the race. Lap 11 of 35 in the Canadian Grand Prix. Sweet Crown 19 is your leader of this race. And did somebody quit? I think there was a bit of a ghosting. I think that might have been an overtake for Sweet Crown 19 over Chilmo. The lap cars do ghost now, so there's no issue with lapped cars taking out leads of races. That's happened a lot in ranked races and even unranked races, and Codemasters thankfully got rid of that feature, which has caused many of us so much trouble in the past online. And Sweet Crown 19 now overtaking Lewis Hamilton, who is also ghosting now for him. And Sweet Crown 19, your championship winner in WSR, leading the race again, hoping to get another win under his belt. And here comes Flip-Flop Fish. He's actually chasing down Nathan de Villers at a pretty considerable rate. Despite the fact there is a 3-second penalty, I don't think Flip-Flop Fish wants to win on penalties. He wants to win by overtaking him. And this will be very exciting. Now come down this DRS straight, and we'll see what he can do. And flying down the straight, coming close to the back of Nathan de Villers, but Nathan de Villers trying to overtake a lapped car, also has DRS of his own, and Element 10 has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is no good for Element 10. That's going to drop him down a little bit. That is definitely not going to help his chances. And here comes Flip Flop Fish still chasing down Nathan DeVillers. DeVillers and Flip both on that medium compound tire. And off, Nathan loses it a little bit. Here comes Flip Flop Fish on the inside. DRS will be activated, and that's going to be an easy overtake for him. The Ferrari has to slot behind him. Now he'll have DRS down that straight, but he lost it a little bit, and I think Nathan DeVillers might be losing tire grip here, and he might have to make a pit stop pretty soon. And coming down that DRS straight, and yup, I think he just about has lost the tire life, and he might have to make a pit stop pretty soon. I think he might make it this lap, in fact. We'll see if he does. And, oh, look at that. That was extremely close. Almost running into the back of Flip Flop Fish. Just narrowly missing the driver. And let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if I ever saw drama, that would have been the most I've ever seen. And that promotes Usimi Flying into third place in this race right now. Far ahead of Fluffinetta, which would put him far ahead in the points. And that is going to make him a very happy man if it stays as it is at the moment. And Sweet Crown 19 in first position. Flip Flop Fish in second. Usimi Flying in third. Element 10 and Nathan DeVillers in fourth and fifth. And Nathan DeVillers on that hard tire. He's looking to make this a one-stop race. And Element 10 onto the soft compound tire. So he'll be very quick at the moment. Damian Carroll sitting in sixth. And Gurman in the Racing Point sitting in seventh. Far off from... And look at this, Sweet Crown 19 goes into the pits, and he had the soft compound tire on. Now let's see, he put on the soft compound tire. That's going to promote Flip Flop Fish into the lead of this race. Of course, he has not yet made his pit stop. And I think he might make it pretty soon. Usimi Flying has found himself in third, but then gets overtaken already by Sweet Crown 19. And it looked like Usimi Flying might have let Sweet Crown 19 out of the way. And that might have been a nice little gesture from Usimi Flying, just letting by the driver there. And now Element 10 is all over the back of Usimi Flying, and there's going to be another little okay move. And there will look to be an avenue for him to go on the inside, but Usimi Flying cuts the door. Now coming up to the hairpin. We'll see if something can be made around the outside, and Element 10 looks for it, but doesn't happen. Now down the DRS straight, that should be a pretty easy move. He might even get it made before the flap opens. The flap is open now. And Usimi Flying, all he can do is watch as he's going to get ahead of him before the chicane. And there it goes, Usimi Flying into the pits. And now Flip Flop Fish is also into the pits, following Usimi Flying as well. And he gets out of the pits. And where does Usimi Flying get out? And he is making his pit stop, and he gets out behind Flip Flop Fish. And now he's all the way down in sixth. Gurman finds himself in fifth. Now if we look at details, Gurman has already made a pit stop. So at the moment, Gurman is ahead of Flip Flop Fish, and at the moment ahead in the championship. So that is not good news for Flip Flop Fish as he looks to possibly get third place in this championship. It's lap 16 of 35. We're almost halfway through the race. And oh, look at that. A big slide from Nathan DeVillers. Putting way too much throttle on out of these turns, and that's causing the car to slide around a lot. He's going to want to keep it steady. And oh, there's actually wing damage for the Ferrari. There is front wing end plate damage on the Ferrari of Nathan de Villers, and that's going to cause considerable front downforce loss. And another 3-second penalty. Corner cutting at the final chicane for Nathan de Villers. And that's going to make a lot of issues for Nathan de Villers later on. And Speed Kills 3 has had a crash somewhere. Sector 2 yellow. We'll see if we can catch it. As here comes Lewis Hamilton. And look at that. There is the crashed out Alfa Romeo of Speed Kills 3. He ran it off on track and he has crashed into the wall. And Speed Kills 3 is out of this race. No safety car deployed. Way out into the runoff area, so not likely to have a safety car even in real life. And Sweet Crown 19, 3.8 seconds ahead of Element 10. Element 10 is 8.7 seconds ahead of Nathan de Villers. And another fastest lap from Sweet Crown 19, a 111.3. At the moment, though, no driver considerably close to another driver, as we're now on lap 18 of 35. And on lap 20, it will be 15 laps to go. And that will be the real true half of the race. First half done of the race. And also you could say the second third. Make sure to stick on the YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot of exciting content on board for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I have some very exciting content planned that I'm going to hopefully get situated. And we're going to show you some awesome stuff in the off season. Keep you on board, keep you interested in WSR. And I'm very excited for what is to come. Apologies again. I think after this I'll have a nice soothing tea and honey. Maybe clear my throat up a little bit. Maybe some lemon, actually. Might do tea and lemon. We'll have to wait and see. It is also 8:04 at night, so if I do tea, I am going to be up for far too long. It's okay, I don't sleep anyway. And, oh, there was a little bit of contact there for Element 10, I'm not sure. The car kind of snapped oddly. I'll have to wait and see what that was. And here comes Flip Flop Fish chasing down his rival Gurman. And now there's blue flags being waved. And that looks to be for Hamilton. Again, ghosting is on for back markers, so there'll be no issues with the AI having to get out of the way as there has been in the past. We've seen the AI back markers cause some very serious issues previously in other races, and we don't want that to happen again. As braking hard into the hairpin is Flip Flop Fish chasing down Gurman. And DRS activated, and you can definitely see him gaining a lot of time on Gurman now coming into that chicane, and they're very much closer again. And just banging the wall of champions is Flip Flop Fish. He wants to keep it out of there. If anything might cause a safety car, it is that wall of champions if it takes you out. Now coming down the downhill section. Hard braking into the chicane. And look at that. DRS flap opening. Will a move be made? Looking. And Gurman gives a little bit of a fake. And makes sure that he keeps him behind. But now it might be a sitting duck. He might even make it at the hairpin. Let's see if he goes for a dive bomb anywhere. Looking around the outside. But now, hard tire versus medium. DRS flap versus no DRS flap. and this should be interesting. Here comes Flip-Flop Fish in the Mercedes. It's going to be a drag race, and it's going to be a drag race. I think the Mercedes is going to win. As look at that, there's a squeeze, and Gurman does not leave a lot of room for Flip-Flop Fish, and that's going to get looked at for sure from the stewards, as Gurman gave a considerable less room for Flip-Flop Fish to make a move. And you have to say the Mercedes driver must be livid in his car, as that did not look clean whatsoever. There was definitely a touch between Flip-Flop Fish and Gurman, and that might be looked at after the race, because there was definitely a lack of room given. There was originally an avenue that Gurman gave, and then he kind of closed the door, but that was while Flip-Flop Fish was side by side of him, and he cut contact with him. I don't know if there's any damage for Flip-Flop Fish. It doesn't look like it there is. But still, definitely not a nice move made by Gurman. And now we're coming up on this DRS straight again. A little bit closer is Flip-Flop Fish 4. He might get out ahead of him before that next thing. And now there's a considerable avenue being made. Let's see if he does the same thing again. And he does do the same thing. They make contact, and Gurman does get ahead of him again. And there is no love lost between Gurman and Flip-Flop Fish 4. And you might see some pretty dangerous racing coming into effect here, as Gurman leaves room and comes over far too much and causes Flip-Flop Fish to take some evasive action. But now all over the back of him, look how close they are, and now Flip-Flop Fish might be making a move on this next DRS straight. We'll have to wait and see as he gets a good exit, and DRS flap opens. Here comes Flip-Flop Fish. Is he going to look on the inside? And no, he keeps it behind him. He might look on the hairpin though. Let's see if he does. Down the hill. And he'll look. He guns on the grass a little bit. But now, here we go. DRS is going to be activated. Much closer is Flip-Flop Fish to Gurman, and he might make the move before the chicane. And let's see, he goes on the inside. Will he? No. But who goes into pits? It is Gurman who goes into the pits. Was there damage for Gurman? I don't know if there was. Let's see if there's a front wing. And no front wing change, so there was no damage for him. And now there goes You See Me Flying, who was also put on those hard compound tires, into 6th position. And on with mediums is Gurman. Flip-Flop Fish finds himself in 5th now, ahead of Gurman, currently in a good spot to win the championship of 3rd place. And El Biku finds himself in 9th place. Fluffinutta in 8th. Gurman in 7th, and You See Me Flying is ahead of Fluffinutta as well by a place, which is going to help him in his championship standings. Maybe not enough though. I'm not completely sure on the gap between them. And Flip-Flop Fish overtakes Damian Carroll and puts himself in the 4th. And Nathan DeVillers is into the pits. And that's soft compound tires going on for the Ferrari. And there's a nose change, and that's going to cost him even more time. And here comes You See Me Flying, and he might get ahead of Nathan DeVillers before coming out of the pits, and yes, he will. And there comes another driver coming out of the pits. Who was that? And no, I'm not sure who that was actually. Here comes Nathan DeVillers though. He's behind Gurman as well. And Nathan DeVillers has another 3-second time penalty. My goodness. Lots of time penalties. Lots of corner cutting around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And You See Me Flying, 5th place at the moment. Damian Carroll is in 4th place in the Williams at the moment. Very good position for him to get a good haul of points in his final race in WSR Season 1. Here's Flip Flop Fish sitting in the podium in 3rd. And Element 10 has gone into the pits, and Flip Flop Fish promotes himself in the 2nd. Sweet Crown 19 has led every single lap of this race so far and will be leading many more as he's 11 seconds ahead of Flip Flop Fish 4. Now the key is here. Is that enough to get him to the end of this race? He's on that hard compound tire. He's not on the mediums. He's on the hards. 9 laps on the hards. My gut tells me that's enough to get to the end of the race. But my heart might tell me that not so much. We'll have to wait and see. I do again apologize. And Nathan DeVillers gets ahead of Gurman. And Flip Flop Fish is in a very good position to win that 3rd place in the championship. Something might still get looked at from Gurman, though, as there was issues that need to be looked at regardless of finishing position. And I don't know if that's going to cost Gurman any more places in the championship, but you'd like to hope not. And Nathan DeVillers has another 3-second time penalty, and they just keep racking up. Constant 3-second. He's had more 3-second time penalties than any driver on the grid right now, and I think it's about 5 right now or so, 5 or 6. So well over 10 seconds of penalties for Nathan DeVillers. LPQ gets his own set of 3-second penalties. And he's chasing down UCM Fine, hits the wall. Is there going to be damage on his Ferrari? Will there be end plate damage? We'll have to wait and see. No, keeping it okay. He's going to try to chase down UCM Flying, but his biggest problem he has to deal with right now is 10 seconds worth of penalties. And UCM Flying really misses the hairpin apex there. And now here comes You See Me Flying. And getting it close. DRS is going to be activated down this straight, and he's looking to make a move, and he might make it on the inside in the turn 1, and he gets it on You See Me Flying. An outrageous move, and now look at this. You See Me Flying, though, hits the back of Nathan DeVillers. Is there damage on the front wing? No. No damage. But here comes Gurman, who's looking as his battle unfolds. And now he's just getting ahead of Cho Mo's car. Cho Mo, of course, ghosting as he was getting lapped by You See Me Flying. And Fofanato sitting in 8th. Damian Carroll ahead of him. Gurman sitting in 6th. And Flip Flop Fish, 3-second time penalty. That's going to drop him below Element 10 at the moment. I don't know if Element 10 has his own... I don't know how many 3-second time penalties Element 10 has. I don't think he has any actually in this race. Lap 28 of 35. We're in the closing stages of this race. And Sweet Crown 19 holds a considerable lead over the rest of the pack and looking to win another race in what has been a dominant season for him in WSR. Flip Flop Fish, 2nd place at the moment. Element 10, though, might get that place ahead of him, but he might actually get it even more so just by an overtake as he's getting very close. And is that going to be DRS for him? No, I don't think there is. Nope, no DRS for Element 10, but he is getting close to the back of Flip Flop Fish 4. And here comes Elbiku chasing down his teammate Fluffinutta, and a little bit of teammate rivalry right now between the two Renaults. And this is nice to see. We haven't seen a battle between these two drivers at all during the season, and now looking to go on the inside at the hairpin, and it doesn't happen, but now DRS straight. DRS will be activated for Elbiku. Let's see what he can do. Flap opens. And will he look on the inside? No, but it looks to be Fluffinutta who kills the fun there and goes for a pit stop. And let's see what he puts on. It's going to be that soft compound tire, and I think it is. Yes, it is. And maybe he can go for a fastest lap of the race at the end. And Element 10 gets the overtake on Flip Flop Fish 4. But now Flip Flop Fish might have DRS down the straight. Let's see who has the DRS, and no, it's actually Element 10. He got it before that DRS detection zone when he made the overtake, so he's the one who gets it. But now Flip Flop Fish will be the one who has DRS down the start-finish straight. And no, I don't actually understand that because, yeah, I don't understand that completely because the DRS detection zone again should declare that Flip Flop Fish would have it, but I'll never quite understand why that's the case. Somebody might have to explain that to me after the fact. Lap 30 of 35. Five laps to go in this race. 5 final laps of WSR Season 1. What a pleasure it has been to call this, ladies and gentlemen, for you. As we're getting into the dying moments of this race. As there's Flip Flop Fish, he sits in third position. Nathan de Villers is sitting in fourth, but he may drop down a considerable amount. Now here's a big question. Gurman is behind Nathan de Villers at the moment. He's on that medium compound tire. He's getting chased down by You See Me Flying. When Nathan de Villers drops down, he'll drop down below Gurman, and Gurman will be next to Flip Flop Fish 4, and he might not get enough points then to win third place in the championship, and that will be given to Gurman. So at the moment, Gurman is sitting exactly where he needs to be to win the championship, as I believe it stands. So all Flip Flop Fish can pray for is that Gurman drops down another position or two. But You See Me Flying has dropped back actually from Gurman, so that might not happen. Here is Fluffinutta, 8th position for him, and he will definitely not be getting further up in the championship. It was a very, very good second half of the season, though, for Fluffinutta in the Renault, and we're so very happy that he was able to join us in WSR Season 1, and he will definitely be a great addition in Tier 1 of WSR. And now we're on lap 32 of 35. Four more laps to go. 3 plus 1, if you will. Let's ride on board with Sweet Crown 19 as he finishes up his final few laps of WSR Season 1, our championship winner, who for all intents and purposes brought it all in WSR, really showed that he deserved to be at the top step of the podium every single time. And I'm so very happy that he was able to come join us in WSR, and I'm so very happy we have such amazing talent like his in this league. And we can't wait to see what he'll do in Season 2. And there sits Element 10 in the Ferrari, who won the WSR Feeder Series, so 2 champions right now in the top 1 and 2. And he himself has had some amazing moments in WSR, both in the feeder series and since coming up to the main series, and I can't wait to see what he can do later on in the championship come 2020. Flip-flop fish might be in danger though of third place. Might not get it. We'll have to wait and see. Nathan DeVillers is sitting on a boatload of penalties. And here comes Damian Carroll. He's chasing down You See Me Flying at the moment. About half a second behind the Red Bull driver. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Clearing my throat just a little bit so I can bring you at least a little bit of action. My throat's starting to kill me a little bit, but it's okay because this is all done with love, as it's lap 33 of 35, about to be lap 34. And there it is, lap 34. We have just 2 laps left in the WSR Formula World Championship around the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. And this has been an amazing championship. And there is Damian Crow, drops behind You See Me Flying a little bit. It's Hartman just outside of the points behind Chilmo. And look at this. Gurman is actually very close to overtaking Nathan DeVillers. So it might not just be on penalties alone. He might just overtake him in general. Get in the 4th position and win 3rd place in this championship. And WSR Gurman looking to cement his legacy as the 3rd place winner in the WSR Formula World Championship in its inaugural season. Nathan DeVillers in 4th. Flip-flop Fish in 3rd. And we're on lap 35 right now as Sweet Crown 19 begins his final lap. But here comes Gurman trying to chase down Nathan DeVillers. Dearest will be activated down this straight. We'll see what he can do. Also, Dearest for DeVillers. It's going to be a drag race between the 2 drivers, but here comes Gurman and he gets ahead of him. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a little bit of issues with my throat right now. But I will finish off this commentary, ladies and gentlemen, for you as my throat is strained, which I think says a lot about how much work I've put into WSR this season. It's been an amazing moments to call these races for you as Sweet Crown 19 comes down the final DRS straight for the final time. Just a few downshifts and upshifts to go around the final few turns, and Sweet Crown 19 will win the Canadian Grand Prix and for the final time win in WSR Season 1. And Element 10 behind him by 17 seconds will still win a very deserved 2nd place. And another podium for Element 10 cements him further in this championship. And here comes Flip-Flop Fish over the line in 3rd position. And he will end up on the podium behind the 2 drivers. Gurman just offside the podium, but he will win 3rd place in the championship. And here comes Nathan DeVillers, 5th position at the moment, but it's going to drop considerably, I believe. Here comes You See Me Flying, and he will jump Nathan DeVillers. Here comes Damian Carroll. He jumps him. Will Fluffinutta jump him? And no, I don't think he will. He was a little bit too far back, and no, it is 8th position. But Sweet Crown 19 wins the WSR Formula World Championship, and he wins the final race of the season. And though my throat is just about done, I do it with love, and I do it with so much care for the future of WSR. Apologies for all the throat clears and coughs, but I don't think it will matter too much. The champagne flies for the final time of the season, and I thank you everybody My name is Noah Clark, or WSRX, and you've been joining us for the final time of this season in 2019 for the WSR Formula World Championship. It's been a pleasure to call these races for you. It's been a real pleasure. It's been a fantastic time, and it's really been one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever gotten to have. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this momentous adventure, and we'll see you in 2020 for the 2020 WSR Formula World Championship, still on F1 2018. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. For the final time, my name is Noah Clark, or WSRX. You've been watching Worldwide Sim Racing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have yourselves a wonderful night.